It's the final quarter.
No, I have some. Look.
Let's talk about making October, November, and December the best ever. Hi, I'm Hope.
And I'm Larry.
From Under the Median, where every week on this channel we discuss practical frugality. And it doesn't get much more practical than getting down to the bottom of the ninth, to the final inning. And that is the last of the sports metaphors you're going to get from us because truly we're not really sports fans.
Not too much.
And we would very quickly say something would leave you shaking your head saying they know nothing about sports, and you would be right. So yeah, it gets down to the final 3 months of the year, and people tend to take a long, hard look at the year and either think, yeah, we rocked it, or, oh, this was a really, really hard year. So regardless of where you're at as far as that is concerned, we want to give you some real down-to-earth encouragement heading in to the fourth quarter of 2021 and give you some great frugal tips for how you can make this the best final quarter ever. All right, let's get started, Larry. You know, there are so many reasons I think that intrinsically quarter four is hard. I think part of it is because we come to terms immediately with like how we spent money the first 9 months of the year. But there are a lot of ways to redeem fourth quarter, guys. But there's a lot of things going on in fourth quarter.
There are. We have 3 major holidays that people celebrate. There's Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. There's lots of holidays of major religions associated with this time of the year. So you may be celebrating one of those. Add in school functions. Oh yeah, school starts in September, and by October, what starts rolling in?
Well, football games, homecoming events, plays at school, all kinds of different
Magical
events.
dinners, fundraisers. Yeah, you're seeing those come through yet. And then you have work-related things fourth quarter too that are a little different than the rest of the
Well,
year.
there's always parents of these children that are having fundraisers.
Yes.
So on the table in the break room, you'll see all kinds of like cookies for sale or candy bars for a fundraiser. And so it's people pulling on you from every direction.
By the way, we are not going to ever tell you to never purchase items from a school fundraiser. We're just going to tell you how to do it judiciously, all right? So yeah, we're totally not against school fundraisers, but there comes a point where you got to say, I think that I've given enough. So the big question in everybody's mind is, how do you keep it all balanced? Because this time of year can see totally out of balance, can't it? Out of whack really quickly. And so you want to keep things in balance and moving forward smoothly. As smoothly as possible.
Yeah.
All right. The first thing we do to help make that happen, Larry, is...
Well, the first thing you do is you want to forecast your income and your projected expenses over the next quarter, which in this case is October, November, and December.
Now, I have done this for decades, guys. For years, I did it by hand. I would just say, this is how many paychecks Larry has coming in between now and December 31st. To the best of my knowledge, this is how much I think we're going to have. I really like to have a good idea going into not only fourth quarter, but any quarter of the year about what I think our income is going to be. And then along with that, I make a very extensive list of projected expenses for fourth quarter. Now, if you want to know how we do this, just hang in there because in just a couple of minutes, we're going to show you some forms. Yes, I made forms, guys. And we're going to show you exactly how it works in our house. We're going to do it briefly because we actually have a whole video planned, and we're going to talk in January specifically about planning your finances for the new year. So we're going to spend a lot more time on that in January, but we wanted to give you a heads up on that and to show you kind of a preview of it by showing you our fourth quarter expenses. So the second thing that we do is...
You want to track your spending. You want to always know how much money is available to you in every budget category. And the only way you're going to know that is to have it written down.
Yes, so the whole idea here is don't actually project your income and project your expenses and just leave that piece of paper randomly sitting around and never do anything with it after that point, all right? You need to actually utilize that form and make sure that you are tracking your expenses to see how your expenses actually line up with what you thought they were going to be. Now, let's take a look at some of our forms that we actually use. Larry and I have quarterly budget meetings. And we've talked a lot on this channel about how we do recommend monthly budget meetings, and we do, especially if you're just starting out kind of this budgeting and the planning process, or if you're kind of in a place in your life where you're trying to like make forward progress and a whole lot of goals and their major goals, then it's a really super good idea to have a meeting once every 30 days or even once a week if it gets down to that, because communication is everything when you're trying to work together as a couple to reach goals. But we have them quarterly, and we actually track our expenses quarterly, and we're going to show you what the forms look like.
Yeah, and what's nice about these meetings, you might consider them as almost like a reset, because as we look down through the different categories, we can see where we've gone over or where we've gone under, and where we might need to make some adjustments before the end of the year comes. Because by the end of the year, we want it all to balance out. We want a zero balance budget.
And by really hyper focusing on those numbers right now during the fourth quarter, it's going to help you to sort of make those minute changes. We call them tweaks, right? Yeah. Tweaks to the budget that will kind of allow you to save a little more or spend a little more, as the case may be, so that you come down to the end of the year on December 31st and think, all right, fourth quarter was absolutely amazing. Let's take a look at step one. There are 3 steps that we take to do this, guys. The first step is we take a look at our third quarter spending totals, because you can't plan fourth quarter until you know what you did in third quarter. I'm going to show you the form, and some of these expenditures are actually true to our own budget, but I added some like that weren't exactly our own budgeting numbers, because you'll see that it's like a home mortgage on there. We don't have a mortgage, but I wanted to create a form that sort of gave you a general ideas that everybody could draw from, that was more like the average person expenses, because at this point in our life, our expenses maybe are not average. Okay, so let's take a look at what I have on the sheet.
Yeah, and one of the things that Hope put into this form is there's 20 places for budget items.
Right.
So you can determine from that which budget items are important to your budget.
Right, and the ones that you really want to keep a close eye on. You may have more than 20 budget categories. We do. But we don't track all of them all the time, because some of them just don't change.
Some are fixed.
Our cell phone bill is always the same every single month. There's a certain number of expenses that don't change. The ones we track on these sheets, these are the ones that we have control over and we can change. So that kind of explains why there's 20 budget categories listed on the sheet, and maybe you might not need all of those even. All right, let's take a look.
Okay, so what we're looking at right now is the expense tracker form for the third quarter. And Hope has put on here, as she mentioned, some of these are arbitrary budget numbers and budget items, just to give you an example of what you can do. And you'll notice we always plan a certain amount, but what you plan and what you end up with oftentimes are 2 different things. And so like we have food is the first one. Once again, that is the most difficult budget item that we've found to keep in control.
Now, I truly lowered our budget numbers for food from $400 to $300 a month this year. And so that first number in July of spent $540, that's what we actually spent in July on food. And some of you are going, holy cow, like she's the frugal queen. How could she have gone over that much? Here's what happened. During the first 6 months of the year, we lived really, really tight on the food budget. And I was deliberately going severely under that $300 a month, because we were saving money to go to the Amish community and make a huge bulk food buy run. We did a video on it, guys, and I'm going to make sure it's linked up above. It'll be linked over on the description of this video. You can take a look at that. It was a $250 food run to Amish country. I bought a whole bunch of things in bulk and showed them all to you in that video.
It was well worth it.
But that's why. Now, so I wanted to put this on here. First of all, I wanted to be real honest with you guys. And secondly, I wanted to show you that what happens when you are looking at your expenses quarterly is, rather than looking at them from month to month, that $540, had I been looking at every single month, would have like totally tripped me out. But we're looking at 3 months in a row, I was able to realize, wait a minute, what is that 540? It's an anomaly, right? It doesn't follow the pattern. That's what you're looking for in this. When you're tracking from month to month on a quarterly sheet, you're looking for patterns, for spending patterns. I knew that wasn't our normal spending pattern. And I knew without even looking back in my expense books that was $250 of that was the run to the Amish food store.
So even though we went over our planned amount, it was actually within our food budget.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so in August, we really spent around $191. September, I did this to fake Larry out, guys, because we're going to do a video in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to show you what we've really done on the food budget, and it's less than $300. All right. Water, these are our real water bills, guys. We have $70 a month budgeted. We spent $45 in July, $43 in August, and whoops, what happened in September? We are billed every 3 months for our sewer water bill. And so that $70 actually is the average of what I think it's going to average out per month once you add in that quarterly sewer water bill. So that's why that's a little bit more. Auto gas, yep, these are our real auto gas bills. $70 a month. You guys know that when we had the electric car, our gas budget was only like $40 a month. So I thought, well, let's see. We've got 2 gas automobiles now. I'm going to make it 70. I don't think it's going to be enough. We'll see when we get to the end of the year. We'll tell you whether we actually made it or not. I don't think that's going to be enough.
I'm working hard on saving us money, though.
All right, so $38 in July, and then in August, 72, and then 97, wow, in September. So here's what happened, guys. And here, once again, I went through our budget deliberately and showed you examples of what you need to be looking for. When I saw that $38 in July, I was like, that just can't be right. Well, I went back to June, and we had filled up both cars like on June 30th or something. That's why all of a sudden in July it was hardly anything. And we apparently didn't go very many places in July. I don't know, because we fill up about once every 3 weeks. So it probably should have been more than that, but it wasn't. I double checked. It was all in there, all the money. Utilities, these are our actual utility bills. We really budget $150 average per month. These are summer bills, guys. This shocked me. I'm going to show you in just a second. We're going to show you the sheet that we use to actually evaluate the information that's in front of you now. And I was shocked that we are not spending more than we are spending on utilities.
Well, part of the reason, if I can just chime in on this, we had our house evaluated. It's been about 1.5 years ago, and they did some major insulation on it, and that's really cut our bills down quite a bit, and that was through our utility company. I think you have a video about that too, don't we?
I do indeed.
Yeah.
So this is eating out. I'm going to tell you guys right off that I put $100 down. It's arbitrary. We don't spend nearly that eating out. But I thought, okay, so what's average? This is not average. Average is $300 a month, in case you're wondering, for a family of 4. But I wanted to put something in that looked a little more realistic than our $20 a month for eating out, because clearly we don't go out to eat very much. Yeah, so the figures in there are actually fake too. 94. This is a theoretical family that spent 94 and then 113 and then 162 in September, because apparently they invited some friends to eat out with them. Household, $50 a month for household. This is like shampoo, conditioner. Somebody at this table actually found my very favorite, and I do my very favorite shampoo. It's Aussie brand. And I found a huge bottle. We just bought it at Big Lots for $4 a bottle. I was so excited.
I think you bought 3.
I got 3 bottles. Okay, so here's what happens when this household category maxes out. It's because we found some great deals. So our household categories, I know from long experience, we may only spend $20 a month for a little while on conditioner and shampoo and toilet paper and personal care products, things like that. And all of a sudden it'll jump up one month to around 62 or 75 or something. Well, it's because we found a great deal, or we had one of those glorious 20% off Big Lots store coupons, and we stocked up. That is what happens. I know our patterns, and that's what I wanted to show you in this household budget. Yeah, a couple of those months, like in July, it looks like we went over. These are our real figures, guys, so you want to know. We went over 62. We spent 62 instead of 50 because we found some great deals. Probably a Big Lots run. Mortgage. This is fake too, guys, because we don't have a mortgage. You know that.
Yeah.
But here's what I wanted to show you on this form. Tracking your mortgage. Okay, so some of you are like, but my mortgage doesn't change. Here's where this is valuable. If you're prepaying your mortgage at all, then this helps you track how much you're actually prepaying, because it may not be the same amount every single month. And that's the case with this theoretical person that has a mortgage of $825 a month. In July, they just made their regular mortgage payment. In August, they came up with $200 extra, paid it toward their mortgage, toward the principal, guys. That's not an extra payment. That's toward the principal. All right. You're paying down that principal. And then they came up with even more money in September. All right. So they paid an extra $500 this quarter toward their mortgage. I think that's handy information to have. So that's why I added it. So most of these categories, we wanted to show you this is our honest to goodness. These are our numbers. And then we put some stuff in there that was a little more realistic to the general population. So what do we do with this? All right. We're going to show you the next form. You ready? All right. After we get that filled in, here's what we do with it. Larry, what do? We have a meeting.
Yeah, we have a meeting and we go over all of the figures to see where we've gone up and down and what then we need to adjust for the fourth quarter, because that's your last chance to get this thing adjusted.
Yep. So before we plan fourth quarter, we're going to have this expense review sheet we're going to take a look at together, and I'm going to say, well, we had planned to spend $900 over 3 months in food. We spent $1,000. And to remedy that, look at the notes section. I am going to menu plan and bulk cook more often. Truthfully, we're doing okay on food. But yeah, that's an example of what somebody's going to do. In the notes section, they're going to say, what steps am I going to take in order to make this change? Water, we were under. Those are our real water numbers, and that includes the quarterly bill for the sewer. And so it's $300 or $53 a month. And so we got $70 a month in the budget. I think we're going to be able to lower it next year. That's where this comes in handy.
That's if they don't raise the price of water and sewer. You never know.
All right.
It's good to leave a little bit of work room in there. You know?
Auto gas, we had $210 budgeted over 3 months. We spent $207. I was surprised. I thought it would be more than that. I really think we're going to have to raise it next year. I just don't think.
Well, one of the problems is that our third son is now driving back and forth to work, so he's taking the Prius and putting more miles on it. So. Yeah, gone are the days when one of the cars just sits in the garage most of the time.
Utilities, what I found out was that we're averaging $125 a month for those 3 months. Now, here, if you look in that section where I have notes, I'm going to say reevaluate it in January. You know, when it comes to utilities, especially here in the heartland, we have 4 seasons. I don't know. Do you guys live where there's 4 seasons? Some of you don't. But we have 4 very distinct seasons here. So I never ever adjust the monthly budget for utilities until 12 months have passed, because you don't know what's going to happen. We could have a harsh cold winter. It could all go to pot. And then I've already lowered it to 125. So that's why I wanted to show. There are very specific reasons why I put these things in here, guys. Eating out, it looks like this family spent more eating out, so they're going to eat out less next quarter. Household, it's at budget. We're not going to make any change on the $50 a month we have set aside for all household items, including personal care items. And then mortgage, which we don't have, of course, but then they're going to plan to prepay $600 the next quarter. So that gives you a really good idea of how you're going to look at that first form and evaluate it using this expense review form.
I'd like to just go back to the eating out one, just to address this one moment.
He always wants to go back to eating out, guys. I'm just saying.
I would like to go back to eating out. No. So what this family needs to do that's gone over, it looks like they've gone over $69. What we would do is then we would take $69 off of our projected spending for that fourth quarter, and maybe take a little more than that off, because you have to allow for tax and other things. So you have to make sure that you're going to balance that number out. So you have to plan for that.
Right. Or take some money off some other areas of your budget and put it into eating out if that's important to you. Fourth quarter eating out tends to be I think people eat out more fourth quarter.
I think they do with Christmas, holidays, and family visiting and so on. Yeah.
All right. What do we do? Let's plan fourth quarter, guys, based on all of these, all of the information that we've just given you. Next form.
So this is the fourth quarter expense tracker.
Now we plan fourth quarter. This fourth quarter expense budgeted tracker is based on the forms that we just showed you. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. I know that took just a few minutes to go through, but I really wanted to show you exactly how it works when you're doing quarterly planning, and how you evaluate it and then plan your next quarter. And the budget that you see in front of you, this budget is based on exactly what we just shared with you. Hey, if you really like these quarterly expense forms, I put them all in an ebook for you. And I even created 3 different styles of forms. So we have a floral form, which actually this is the best one. If you're going to print in black and white, guys, this is the best one to get because this floral looks really nice in black and white. Then we have an abstract form. And then we also have a form that I like to call sequin. It's very bright and flashy. It's sequins. So those are available. I'm going to have a link to that ebook in the description of this video so you can go take a look at it. All right, Larry, what is the next thing that we do that will help all of us to have the most amazing fourth quarter ever?
So the third thing that you want to do is set spending limits. And you want to do that ahead of time. So it's always good when you're setting these limits to allow a little bit of headroom. We might allow, I guess, about 10% here and there, just a little playroom because, prices change. Nothing's fixed in stone these days.
And prices are changing rapidly right now,
They
guys.
are.
Particularly when you talk Christmas gifts and things like that. They're just a little more expensive and shipping is a little bit longer this year. We actually, make sure you're with us next Monday in exactly a week from today because we are going to do, I'm sorry, guys, if you're not ready for Christmas yet, just plug your ears, la, 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 la. But if you're ready to talk Christmas, we're going to give you 7 reasons why we really think it's important for you to consider shopping early this Christmas season because we have already started. Yeah, tell us in the comment section, have you also already started Christmas shopping? So we set our Christmas budget quite early in the year. We actually shop a little bit throughout the year, but the vast majority of our Christmas shopping is being done right now. And we always look at that Christmas budget and add just a little bit of extra. About 10% is all you really need to add. Stuff comes up. It really does. I think you have to give fourth quarter, it's fourth quarter. This stuff is going to happen. You're going to be invited out. You're going to do things with friends, and you want to be able to do that.
Busy.
You're going to be busy.
It's so much better to get this done ahead of time. For one, the stores will have things in stock in October where they might run low because of everybody buying everything up. And you are going to be, if you're like us, really busy in December. It's so hard to work everything in. I remember one year before Thanksgiving, I had all of my Christmas gifts purchased and wrapped before Thanksgiving.
I don't think we've done that in 34 years of marriage.
We're not that good now, no. But
all right, do you wrap gifts ahead of time? But anyway, we digress, guys. Make sure you join us next Monday because we're going to go into depth about this whole Christmas season, why we think you should shop early, and we'll give you some really great frugal tips then.
Especially this year.
That's absolutely right. All right.
Yes.
So speaking of shopping, though, we're going to encourage them during fourth quarter to do something a little bit original, and that is to shop off season. Larry, what is off season shopping? And give them some ideas like what we're talking about here.
Okay, so shopping off season, you're going to take advantage of when merchants are clearing out their shelves from last season's goods. So in the fall, you're looking at summer items. That would include patio furniture, fans, shorts, bikinis, anything that you had in the summer. Patio pillows, any kind of outdoor furniture is going to be very popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get
Beach
rid of.
toys, sand toys, stuff like that. It's going to be massively clearance by the time you get to early fall, especially if you're looking at it early October.
We
massively discounted.
We bought our current patio set at 50% off at Big Lots. Now, Big Lots is fairly cheap anyway, so we did really good.
We had a coupon for an extra 20% off, though, so we actually got a super, super good deal
that
on it.
was
So now's the time to get us. That's what we're talking about, shopping off season. Now, here's our massive frugal tip for shopping off season. When you are shopping off season, we're talking about waiting until after Thanksgiving and then you're going to go shop the massively discounted Thanksgiving aisles, right? Look for items that are marked as Thanksgiving merchandise that absolutely have nothing to do with Thanksgiving. Let's say that it's a neutral color and it's a plain color. It doesn't have turkeys and things like that on it. There's no way to look at the item and even tell that it's meant for Thanksgiving. Those are the items that we look for because we have a gift stash in our bedroom that we use for gift giving. These items are brand new. We have bought them at massive, massive discounted prices and paid pennies on the dollar for these items, and they're perfectly fine to give at any time of the year.
We do this after Christmas too. We'll go, if we happen to need some more Christmas decorations, we'll wait till maybe the first or second week following Christmas to pick up some of these, and where you can get as much as 70 to 90% off, and that's worth it.
But the reason fourth quarter, we even mentioned this specifically in a fourth quarter video, because of all the preponderance of holidays in the fourth quarter, it's a great time to do this.
Yeah.
Wait till the holiday is over and then go shop massive clearance sales and get things, set them aside for next year. Number 5, the 5th thing we suggest that they do to make this a frugal, happy fourth quarter.
You want to plan way ahead and purchase things ahead of time so you're not going out and panic shopping. When you panic shop, well, you're not going to get the best deals.
Don't shop Christmas Eve. No Christmas Eve shoppers, guys. None. All right. No, truly, people tend to have this weird misnomer that the closer it gets to the holiday, the less the prices are going to be. Actually, statistically, it's not true.
No.
And I've researched it. Statistically, you're not going to get any better deals on December 24th than you're going to get, much earlier in the season when you're shopping for Christmas. So please don't wait to the last minute. You're going to wind up very frustrated, and you're going to wind up walking through the store throwing random things in your cart because you know what? You know how we know this?
We've done it.
We have done it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. More than once we have done it. So that's why we're telling you. Anytime we tell you to do something, usually because we've made that mistake and we're telling you not to do it. So plan well in advance.
Hope and I don't spend a lot of money on Christmas gifts. I just want to mention this. Most of the time, I'll buy something really nice for Hope at a thrift store. Like this lamp behind us, that was a thrift store buy. I might buy that way back in June or July, and I'll hide it up in the attic in a place where she won't go. And it's well hidden up there. And then bring it down on Christmas, and there's her gift, a big surprise. It's bought ahead of time, didn't pay as much for it. Because especially if you're buying used, you can't always depend on availability of an item.
Now, this is seriously a thing with us. For years, we've done this. We know that we never buy retail for each other on Christmas or on birthdays. We have a set budget, and we go try to find something that's absolutely perfect for the other person. And buy it. So I know when I open something it's for a thrift store because it's kind of a cool thing for us. It's like a tradition between the two of us. Now, we don't do that with the kids and we don't do it with other people, but between the two of us, like, we totally love this groove of, we know the other is always hunting thrift stores throughout the year to find something that is absolutely perfect for the other person that they've gotten for a very, very good price. So check thrift stores. Now, we have a very special message from our 17-year-old son when it comes to thrift stores, because he was with me in the room when I was planning this video, and he wants to give a message to y'all.
Hi, I work at a thrift store. We have tracked it, and so far there has not been one donation day where we have not gotten Christmas decorations. So please, if you want to help both us and yourself out, buy Christmas decorations. We have a plethora of them.
And thank you, Daniel. All right, listen, thrift stores often have some perks that we don't necessarily think about. Thrift stores, for one thing, often have their own version of Black Friday sales.
Yeah, they do.
And they will heavily discount items, particularly Christmas items. They will discount having you come into the store and do some of your Christmas shopping. What else do thrift stores do, Larry?
Well, they'll have certain color codes on their merchandise, and they might lower those down below what they normally sell them for. And, speaking of Black Friday, we had a store in town that used to mark everything 50%
Whole
off
store, yeah.
on the Friday following Thanksgiving. So we would always try to get there early and get some good deals. But they also might have special discounts on Christmas decorations or holiday decor.
Now, you also want to make sure that you're aware of any special discount days at your local thrift store. Some thrift stores will even have a calendar, like up at the checkout counter that you can grab, that will tell you throughout the month exactly what's going to be on sale and what day. And you may want to plan to go in, for instance, if you're looking for pieces of furniture. We've been there. They might have a special day in the middle of the month where all furniture is marked, 40% off or something. If you know you're looking for major furniture, that's the time to go furniture shopping, because you might find the perfect piece and get 40% off of it. But I like to grab those calendars and stick them on a bulletin board in the house so that I can just be aware of when those sales are being offered. They also offer some other discounts sometimes, Larry.
Yeah, our local thrift store that our son happens to work at. We've had two sons work there now. They offer discounts for teachers, senior citizens, military, maybe retired military personnel, and they'll have it posted on the front desk and how much they offer. They even have a thing that they spin. It's a wheel that they spin.
Oh yes, spin the wheel for the discount. That is so fun.
and it'll stop on a certain discount number, 30%, 20%, whatever. And so they'll give them that discount at the cash register. If you're not sure, either look for signs or maybe ask somebody if they have special discounts.
Now, if you're unfamiliar with thrift shopping, we actually did a video on this. We gave our top 10 tips for how to successfully thrift store shop. And I'm going to make sure that's linked in the description of this video. Those are all the ways that we think that you can make this fourth quarter like the best quarter ever, guys. We'd love to know, what do you do during fourth quarter that helps set you up for success and to end the year with an amazing frugal win? We'd love to know about it in the comments section. You found this helpful? Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure, if you're not subscribed, you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification too. One last reminder, if you like the forms that I showed you earlier in the program, they're available. There's a link in the description of the video. We'll see you next week.